sonar, new contact bearing 231, designated Sierra 1.
Good morning and welcome back to Cold Waters, and welcome back to attempt 33 of the same mission. Okay, probably be a failure at 33, but hey, we'll give this a go. Right, quick introduction of what's going on. Today we are in, I think it's HMS Talent, Sierra 92 if memory serves me correctly. And our mission is to engage with 15 US Navy
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as
Submarines.
submerged submarine.
Because, I mean, hey, who doesn't want to do this? We are between Iceland to the south and Greenland to the north. Not a topical topic.
Con, dive at 40 feet, dive by.
Honest.
Raise the radar mast.
I'm going to go ahead and pop the surface sensors. Yeah, scope is clear, that's good.
Down scope.
Con sonar, lost contact, Sierra 1, last bearing 23.
Make depth 328 feet, dive by.
Okay. So what's pretty much tended to happen in these missions is we've started out, we've engaged the enemy, and we've ended up getting caught by a Mark 48, which makes complete sense because the Mark 48 is a nasty, vicious bastard of a torpedo. My Trafalgar-class boat has two kinds of weapon on board. I'll pop up the display. So we have got spearfish and we've got tigerfish. Spearfish are showing us spearfish here on the right hand side, so we've got a total of 23 of those bad boys, and we have 5 Mark 24 Mod 2 improved, or the tigerfish.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 221, designated Sierra 2.
Go ahead and
Con
rewind.
sonar, new contact bearing 231, designated Sierra 3. Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine. Con sonar, Sierra 3 is classified as submerged submarine.
I guess we've just
Con sonar, new contact bearing 241, designated Sierra 5.
gone through the layer.
Con sonar, Sierra 5 is classified as submerged submarine.
I'm going to take a swig of very close to cold coffee whilst we continue to identify targets.
Con sonar, Sierra 6 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay. Well, that was pretty straightforward. Right. Yeah, so weapons. We've got a couple of Mosses on board as well. I don't necessarily like to bring the Moss with me, because it's not really a weapon that boats had. However, it's kind of useful. And by kind of useful, oh my gosh, it's useful.
Come left to 222, helm I.
So I'm reloading a Moss. Depending on how I felt, I've had one preloaded when I've started, or
Make depth 400 feet, dive by.
I've done it on the fly. They can't hear me right now, the enemy boats, and I can hear them, so... Let's see, did anyone get close? The permit's getting close. Okay. We are tackling Skipjack, the permit, the Sturgeon, thank you, Los Angeles, Flight 2 Los Angeles, and Flight 3. And the numbers are more biased towards a few more Skipjacks and permits and Sturgeons versus the Los Angeles class. As you can see...
Con sonar, lost contact, Sierra 5, last bearing 240, contact faded.
As you can see...
Con sonar, regained contact on, Sierra 5, bearing 240. Come left to 180, helm I.
as you can see, we've got...
Con, dive at 400 feet, dive by.
Con sonar, lost contact, Sierra 4, last bearing 211, contact faded.
I'm not going to get a word in breathe.
Con sonar, regained contact on, Sierra 4, bearing 211.
I'm not going to get a word in very easily, but...
Passing 400 feet.
Oh my gosh. But that's okay. it's going to get pretty hectic. So I'm going to accelerate time. Typically,
Con, helm, steady course.
we're going to engage once we know, oh, they're heading away from us. That is good to know. It's very good to know. This might be a good chance to actually score some kills. All right. So some tactical observations. Number one, the moss kind of ruins how my own weapons work, and by kind of ruins, goodness me, it ruins them. And the reason being, let's get up to periscope depth.
Make depth 40 feet, dive I.
Because the spearfish especially, they will go...
Sonar, new contact bearing 219, designated Sierra 7.
We'll go for a moss in preference to most anything else. That's another flight 3. That's bad.
Sonar, Sierra 7 is classified as submerged submarine.
And so that essentially means that it, I'm not going to say it kind of ruins my plan, but yeah, if I have a moss in the water, my torpedoes will go for the moss as opposed to the enemy. So sometimes getting a moss out early on is beneficial, and I might just try that. And then picking off the individual submarines as and when I can. The Spearfish in .mod 0.4c has quite a limited active range, but a quite effective range in its navigation mode. So that means that once the thing goes active, I don't have long to be able to take care of the enemy.
Con, dive at 40 feet, dive I.
Which makes sense. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fire one of these off. I'm going to fire it west.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
Get another one reloaded. I think I'm going to try mosses this time, because what's the worst that happens? I've had my backside handed to me the whole time, so it'll be fine. Let's get my depth down to below 200 feet. I'll do that fairly quickly. Yeah, that coffee's gone cold. Okay, skipjack. There's no way
Passing 100 feet.
of hearing me right now. Did he drop below the layer? Yeah, he is below the layer. Okay. Five knots. They're all being kind of sneaky.
Passing 200 feet.
Okay, I'm going to accelerate time. And,
Passing 300 feet. Passing 400 feet.
yeah, I've got another moss loaded.
Passing 500 feet.
So the moss is on its way. It's now 2,000 yards away. They haven't reacted yet, but I'm getting a pretty good track on 4 of them now. And of course, as soon as I launch my torpedo, they're going to go crazy. How much depth have I got? Okay, 2,000 feet. I have enough. Alright, let's go ahead and cancel accelerate time. Let's get a second moss out.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
And because we feel lucky, I'm going to go ahead and get, well, 4 spearfish out.
Shoot 2-2.
Yep,
Aye, sir.
I got a response.
Sonar,
Oh
launch
boy.
transient from Sierra 6.
Now hopefully
Sonar, Sierra 6 is cavitating.
they're aiming for the first moss, and then their torpedo will go for that first moss, not even think about me, and then if they think that they've detected me, they're actually detecting the second moss. So there's a lot that's going to be happening early on, and I really need to kind of get out of dodge. So I'm going to get my depth
Make
to
turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
about 750 feet. Put on 10 knots.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 236. Contact faded.
Passing 600 feet.
Okay, so we're losing some of the sonar. I'll drop the speed back to 5 knots in just a jiffy.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 263.
Yeah, some of those
torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
some of those boats are fleeing. It looks like Sierra 5's turning north towards the target, which is fine. I mean,
Passing 700 feet.
We kind of expect that. I'm going to go ahead and drop my speed to 5 knots.
Make turns for 5 knots.
Closer look around.
Maneuvering aye.
So, I think. Oh, that's interesting. There's a spread. I'm going to just send torpedo 3 a little little ways north here. Torpedo
Con,
1
maneuvering. Making turns for 5 knots.
south. 3.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 4, bearing 239.
I got my numbers mixed up, but that's okay.
Con sonar launch
Oh,
transmit
hello.
from Sierra 4.
Right, so Sierra 4. This permit is right here. It says depth. Okay, he's deep enough that we can engage with torpedo 5, and he's targeting this second mast that I launched. So yeah, it's
Con sonar new contact bearing 273, designated Sierra 8.
flight 3.
Con
Right.
sonar Sierra 8 is classified as submerged submarine.
I really need to tackle these flight 3s if I can. So I'm going to go ahead and retarget 3 towards Sierra 8. I don't.
Con sonar Sierra 9 is cavitating.
Wow. Another one here. Now that's probably a flight or something else. Sturgeon. Okay.
Con sonar Sierra 9 is classified as submerged submarine.
Right. I decided I would make 5 active. And target permit 4.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 8, last bearing 274. Contact faded.
So I pushed the depth a little lower for this torpedo 5. The hope is it's going to tackle the
fire
permit.
control,
There we go.
weapon acquired.
Con sonar new contact bearing 247. Designated Sierra 10.
Coming out of the woodwork now.
Con sonar new contact bearing 264. Designated Sierra 11. Con sonar new contact bearing 246. Designated Sierra 12.
Found the narwhal. Right,
Con
so bit of
sonar
5.
new
Let's make it
contact
active.
bearing 239. Designated Sierra 13.
What I've done here is torpedo
Con
5
sonar noisemaker bearing 244.
is pinging actively, and the thought there
Con
is
sonar regained contact on Sierra 8 bearing 276. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1 bearing 257.
it's gonna make
Con sonar new contact bearing
Get me a word in, crew.
267. Designated Sierra 14. Con sonar noisemaker bearing 247.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
Con sonar Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine. Con sonar Sierra 15 is cavitating. Con sonar Sierra 13 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay, what I'm trying to do is identify the targets as quickly as I can, because that way I can prioritize targets. So we see that second Moss is soaking up some torpedoes. That's very good news. Torpedo 5 has acquired multiple, or it appears to be tracking multiple bad guys. So I'm going to ping its active sonar every once in a while, see if that helps. Now, torpedo 3 is getting ahead of this Moss, which is good. I want it to travel out a little bit further.
Con sonar noisemaker bearing 249.
Still don't really know where Sierra 8 is. That's their Flight 3 Los
Con, fire
Angeles.
control, weapon acquired.
4 could really actively engage this sturgeon. I'm going to do that. So this is about to make a right mess of him. Let's ping him actively and let's just go
Con
live. There we
sonar
go.
noisemaker bearing 256.
So the sturgeon immediately dropped a countermeasure. I'm
Con
gonna
sonar noisemaker bearing 248.
I'm steering this torpedo manually towards the target right now using the keypad. So let's see if we can get him.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Get it? No, we've got someone else. There's something further that
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
it's acquiring. I'm gonna actually whiz it round. I really want to take care of the sturgeon because he's pretty close. Oh, he's the closest one to me.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 246. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 10. Last bearing 246.
It didn't.
Contact breaking
It
up.
missed him. It must have just inched over him, below him, perhaps. So, turning this thing around again. So right now, I'm very aware that I'm potentially vulnerable. I'm not paying attention anywhere else. So let's. Torpedo 5's lost the wire.
Lost contact. Sierra 1. Last bearing 272. Contact faded.
Let's make torpedo
Con sonar
2
lost
live.
contact. Sierra 1-5. Con sonar launch transient from Sierra 2.
Okay. Let's.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 9. Bearing 250.
3 is live, and I
Con, fire control.
Con sonar lost contact.
don't know where that Los
8,
Angeles
last
is.
Bearing 284. Contact faded.
Alright, so right now, we've got a lot of.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1-5. Bearing 267.
Got a lot of contacts. Now, Torpedo 4, just by way of example, it has a minute 15 left on the to run.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 8. Bearing 285.
We can see that from the.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1. Bearing 273.
I'm going to
Con, fire control,
try
weapon
and
acquired.
target this sturgeon here, but I've got 52 seconds. Bottom left of the screen shows me that.
Con, torpedo room, tube 5 ready.
Bringing the depth up to match the sturgeon.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is cavitating.
The sturgeon's concerning me, right? Okay, the torpedo's acquired. Now, number 3, need a bit of guidance here, but it looks like number 2 is going for something, so.
Con, fire control, weapon.
Con sonar noisemaker bearing 273.
They're being very slippery.
Con sonar
sneaky little
noisemaker
bastards.
bearing 258.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
Okay, so 2 and 3 keep swapping the target that they're going for. And I don't care, I'd like those targets to be taken care of. But, oh, again. Oh, okay. So Torpedo 4 ran out of fuel and did not successfully
Con
engage
sonar noisemaker bearing 272.
the sturgeon. And Torpedo 2 has acquired the... No, 3 has acquired the moss. Not good. I need 3 to acquire Sierra 6. Let's loop it back ourselves, and it's confusing as to what's going on here.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Come on. Get this guy. I have to do everything myself.
Con sonar noisemaker bearing 271.
It's difficult to track these things.
Con
If I
sonar
go here.
noisemaker bearing
That hopefully
276.
has got him. I missed him. Seriously? Again? Okay, come on. Come on, little spearfish.
From
Really?
Sierra 4.
That annoys the bazingas out of me. when
Con
it does that.
sonar lost contact.
Great,
Sierra
so-
7. Last bearing 2.
So my torpedoes were
contact faded.
Pretty much ineffective. I got nothing because they all ran out of fuel. So that's just great. Way to go. Thanks, game.
Con, torpedo.
Con sonar lost contact.
Okay.
Sierra 1. Last bearing 280. Contact faded.
So, part of me wants to engage Sierra 4. He's getting real close, but he is being engaged by a Mark 48 that's sneaking up behind him right here.
Contact. Sierra 8. Last bearing 291. Contact faded.
And I'll give away my
Con
location.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 3. Last bearing 261. Contact faded.
So I think
Con sonar noisemaker bearing 252.
I need to get a word out sometimes. So, like I say, Sierra 4 is being engaged by a Mark 48. I completely messed up that engagement. None of my spearfish, I don't think, actually met the enemy. They all ran out of fuel. Very frustrating, because I only have Limited number of weapons. There's only one of me and 15 of them, or 14 now. So that's why I'm loading up Tigerfish.
Noisemaker bearing 274.
Tigerfish is a very sneaky weapon, and when it gets busy, when it gets noisy with a lot of torpedoes, Tigerfish can be, say, easy to not detect, but you can kind of sneak one in. And I know that that sounds like some kind of...
sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 269. Contact faded.
I know that sounds very meme-worthy, but it can work very, very effectively. Now, the Sierra 4 fired a Mark 48 and is tracking that Moss, and he's still wire-guided. I have this Sierra 14. Couldn't determine where that thing was. That Moss has utterly ruined plans in some ways. It's really disrupting their torpedoes. The now Sierra 6, towards the center of my display, is actually coming under attack from 2 torpedoes.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 247.
We've no idea where Sierra 14 is. We keep moving around on the map. It's like I can watch Sierra 6 get attacked by these two Mark 48s.
Torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
So, here they come. This guy, he's been engaged by a lot of torpedoes and they've all missed. I got one Tigerfish loaded, that's ready to go, and I might get that one launched, but the enemy will detect that launch, so I need to have a credible threat if I'm going to do that.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 276.
They seem to be able to evade Mark 48s way, way easier than I can. So a typical drop a noisemaker and dive, and then they're going right above him. Wow. I mean, that's fabulous and all, don't get me wrong, but why can't I pull that off? Okay. This Sierra 4 Sturgeon
regained contact on Sierra 1 bearing 284.
still under attack from a Mark 48.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 5 bearing 278.
He's a definite candidate for a Tigerfish I could guide in, as he's a bit of a slower boat. But still, it's risky to give away my location. But yeah, like I say, I've been utterly ineffective. The Royal Navy is usually a bit better than this, usually. I suppose we'll run ultrasonic.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Let's switch back to this Sturgeon here. I'm going to accelerate time. We might get it.
Sonar lost contact.
Nope.
Sierra 1 last bearing 286. Contact faded.
Okay, we got Sierra 6, or something got Sierra 6.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 230.
Sierra.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 228.
Wow, Sierra 4.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 223.
Okay, I am in danger of getting engaged by this. Let's just check the range. What?
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 231.
Okay. Not yet.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 239. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1 bearing 285. Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 2.
So eventually Sierra 4 will run out of noisemakers.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1 last bearing 297. Contact faded. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 5 last bearing 297. Contact faded.
Okay. I've seen enough. I think it's time to
Con
get
sonar,
some
noisemaker bearing 283.
get some more torpedoes in the water. This might... Yeah, it looks like the Sturgeon has finally shaken off. I mean, he's going to detect this launch fine.
Shoot 2-3. Aye, sir.
Con sonar lost contact. Con sonar launch transient from Sierra 4.
I'm going to get one out here. I don't know if this is going to reach anything, but
Shoot 2-1.
I'll try
Aye,
it.
sir.
And then let's fire this one as well.
Shoot 2-2.
And then
Aye,
I
sir.
need to
Con
be
sonar regained. Come right to 30.
anywhere
Main
else.
turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
I'm going to go ahead and bug out of here at 10 knots, the rate princely speed at 10 knots. I'm going to come under threat.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 242. Contact faded.
Actually want to attack.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 242.
Passing 800 feet.
I'm going to double tap this guy. Spearfish Torpedo 2 and a Tigerfish Torpedo 3. The Spearfish is a much quicker weapon, far more lethal, but so limited in fuel that if it cannot hit the target, or there's multiple
Con
targets...
sonar lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 242. Contact faded.
You'd think I'd know
Con,
this...
helm,
Oh my god,
steady course.
screw, just let me get a word. You'd think I'd know this by now.
Passing 900 feet.
Yeah, he is guiding his torpedo in. I really need to get this Spearfish on the way, because if I switch to this view here, this is his torpedo anticipating where I'm going, and if
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 284. Contact breaking up.
if I
Come
change
left
my
to
course,
144. Helm aye.
this torpedo is going to change its course as
Con
well.
sonar regained contact.
Passing 1,000 feet.
He says. Eventually it'll change its course. Okay, it's not doing it because obviously I'm watching, but I don't want to accelerate time because there's a lot going on. Oh boy. I guess I'm turning right towards it. Let's make 2 alive. Torpedo 2 is going to accelerate to 70 or 80 knots.
Passing 1,100 feet.
There we go. That's my Spearfish towards the right hand side of the screen, and my Tigerfish is up here, if you can see it. Much slower torpedo. The idea here is that the Spearfish is going to basically threaten this guy. Let's ping it
Con
manually.
sonar regained contact on Sierra 8, bearing 300.
He's turned his tail. Yeah, he has. So he's
Con
running
sonar
away.
lost contact. Sierra 8, last bearing.
Con,
Passing 1,200 feet.
And
come left to 133. Helm aye.
so he's running away from me. I don't really expect any different there. That's fine.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1, 5, bearing.
Con, helm, steady course.
Okay, and then that Sturgeon's actually under attack by another Mark 48 coming up his rear, and my Spearfish are also coming up behind him.
Con sonar lost.
Passing 1,300 feet.
So yet again, the US Navy boats are under attack by a lot of
Con
different
sonar
angles.
regained contact on Sierra 1, 5, bearing 282.
Spearfish has 2
Con
minutes
sonar
22
lost
left to run.
contact. Sierra 1, 5, last bearing 282. Contact faded.
So I'm notching his incoming torpedo. That means I'm traveling perpendicular to it. I'm trying to put 90 degrees. I'm
Passing
traveling
1,400 feet.
away
Con
from
sonar
it.
regained contact on Sierra 1, 5, bearing 282.
He goes live
Con
right
sonar
now.
regained contact on Sierra 9, bearing 266.
He just did. There's a good chance he's going to
Con
detect me.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, 5, last bearing 282. Contact faded.
I managed to avoid
Con
detection.
sonar
Good.
regained contact on Sierra 1.
Passing 1,500 feet.
Come right to 269. Helm aye.
Okay. So, meanwhile, the Sturgeon has avoided
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
both the Mark
Con sonar
48.
regained contact on Sierra 8, bearing 300. Con sonar
These guys
lost
have been
contact.
very effective.
Sierra 8, last bearing 300. Contact faded.
Here we. I'm guiding him in manually now. This Spearfish. Let's see if we can get him.
Con, fire control,
Okay,
weapon
come on,
acquired.
come on. Do we get him? Do we
Con
get him?
sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 301. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 8, bearing 300.
Okay, we got him at long last. Good
Con
grief,
sonar
that was
lost
hard work.
contact. Sierra 8, last bearing 30.
Con, helm, steady course.
So, 4 down out of 15. Wowzers. Right, well, there's really,
Make turns for 5, maneuvering aye.
Okay, let's switch back to
Con
my view.
sonar lost
Like so.
contact. Sierra 2. Last con sonar. Launch transient from Sierra 3.
Okay, where's Sierra 3? Okay, everyone is bugged off.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
I'm not convinced that Torpedo 1 or Torpedo 3 are going to be anything useful, but we'll keep them at it. I'm going to just keep them
Con
in.
sonar regained contact on Sierra 9. Bearing 268.
There's something
Con,
at
torpedo room 2. Passing 1,400 feet.
something at the origin of this torpedo traveling southeast. So let's get Torpedo 1 heading in that direction and see what it finds. Because right now, I got very little information on anything anywhere. And I need to run perpendicular to their course to be able to get a bit more information from my towed array. But I want to move towards them, so I'm just going to have to do this.
Come right to 3, 5, 1, helm aye.
I guess it's the submarine equivalent of
Passing
tacking.
1,300 feet.
So let's accelerate time. This will be a very long video if I do not accelerate time.
Con sonar regained.
Passing 1,200 feet. Passing 1,100 feet.
Con sonar regained.
Passing 1,000 feet.
Con sonar
Passing 900 feet.
Con sonar.
Passing 800 feet.
They're all running away from me.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Okay, we made Torpedo 1
Con sonar regained
active.
contact on Sierra 5. Bearing 299.
Am I at risk
Con
of...
sonar regained contact on Sierra 1. 5. Bearing 284.
Okay,
Con
alright.
sonar regained contact on Sierra 1. 3. Bearing 26.
Come left to 281, helm aye.
It does get annoying when the crew do not let me get a word in. They just keep talking. So I've got 3 torpedoes to my west. They are most definitely a threat.
Passing 800 feet.
So I can't outrun them and keep the wire on these torpedoes. I don't necessarily need the wire on them, but it's useful. Torpedo 1 is probably not going to reach the narwhal.
Con
Yes.
sonar Sierra 1. 2 is cavitating.
This is Sierra 11 up here. The
Con
narwhal,
sonar noisemaker bearing 297.
the narwhal is a slow-ish submarine.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra.
Passing 900 feet.
She's quiet, which helps. I'm gonna go ahead and just push the nose forward on my boat so I can get down to depth, because I could possibly avoid these torpedoes heading my way, possibly, but I'm in trouble yet again. I can
Con, helm, steady
still
course.
steer this torpedo here, which I'm doing now, and if I can get another submarine, that would be wonderful.
Passing 1,000 feet.
But it's not picking up the narwhal inactive. The narwhal does not have any other coating. I'm guiding in it, and it's vanished now.
Fire
Con
Okay.
sonar lost
There you go.
contact. Sierra
Thank you.
1. Last bearing 295. Contact breaking up.
That's taking care of the narwhal. Right, situation here. I am trying to go between
Passing 1,100 feet.
these two torpedoes. I'm going to send this tigerfish to chase down
Con
this.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 7. Last bearing 246. Contact faded.
The skipjack, but I am in trouble because I'm going to get acquired by one or both of these torpedoes. So let's go ahead and retract the towed array.
Passing 1,200 feet.
A bunch of contacts have just faded. I feel like I've wasted another couple of torpedoes.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1. 4. Last bearing 269. Contact faded.
Really going to get my depth down, and I'm getting there. But I don't think I'm getting there quickly enough.
Passing 1,300 feet.
They're now 3,000 yards away. I'm going to have to risk losing the torpedo.
Con, torpedo room 2-1 ready.
Push the nose all the way forward. Let's see if that helps. I might lose the wire on the torpedo, but right now it's...
Passing 1,400 feet.
Let's go up to 10 knots. It's going to help.
Make turns for 10 knots, maneuvering aye.
Possibly help.
Passing 1,500 feet. Passing 1,600 feet.
Okay, that's helping.
Passing 1,700 feet. Passing 1,800 feet.
So far, so good.
Passing 1,900 feet.
Okay. Think I got away with it. Good. Let's accelerate time.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 2, 4, 5. Contact faded.
Well, I'm loath to call this a victory, but we've
Con
survived.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 2, 4, 3. Contact faded.
Which is nice. That skipjack has decided he has a better idea to go somewhere else, and select this. Let me select, thank you. This tigerfish won't be able to catch him because it moves at 25 knots in navigation
Con
mode.
sonar regained contact on Sierra 3, bearing 2, 7, 2.
So I'm going to go
Con
ahead
sonar
and
lost contact. Sierra 7, last bearing 2.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
pull my depth up. I'm tempted to just actively ping. I'm going to just ping.
Con sonar switching to active search. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra.
Passing 1,900 feet.
By this point, I'm usually the recipient
Con sonar
of a lot of
Con
torpedoes.
maneuvering,
Shut
making
up, crew.
turns for 5 knots.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra.
Passing 1,800 feet.
Everything's too far away from me, I'm afraid.
Con sonar switching to passive. Con sonar launch transient from Sierra 1, 3.
I'm gonna
Con sonar regained
Passing 1,700 feet.
gonna draw a conclusion to this battle. I think there's it's at this point.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 8, last bearing 2, 9, 7. Contact faded.
We're another hour or so away, and I
1,600
could
feet.
lob a lot of torpedoes in their direction, but they're just not going to find their mark. So, where did I screw up? I just didn't engage effectively the first round. I took nothing out. I suspect
Passing 1,500 feet.
Sierra 10, this flight to Los Angeles, was probably killed by a Mark 48. I don't recall. I didn't watch it. Maybe I'll see when I'm editing this, if I edit this, which I'm not likely to do because, hey, I sucked.
Passing 1,400 feet.
At least I can disengage. Right, well, I'm going to go ahead and disengage here. I sunk, or sunk during the battle. Actually, 5. It's not bad, let's face it. 5-to-1 ratio, and I survived. Yeah, you know what? I was a little harsh on myself. I survived. Well, if you do watch this, if I do publish it, I hope you got something from it. And I'll see you the next time. Thanks so much, everyone. Goodbye.